Now what will it be? Death or exile?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Hi, my name is Lupe. Welcome to this Film Exiles review of Little Monsters. Little Monsters is a 2019 independent release from Australia, directed by Abe Forsythe, which went straight to streaming on HULU. It premiered on the film festival circuit, in particular South by Southwest, and it wears its film festival bona fides on its sleeves. It stars Academy Award winner and Black Panther star Lupita Nyongo. It stars Australian actor Alexander England, and it stars Josh Gad. More on the billing of the actors later. I would describe Little Monsters as a rom-com slash coming-of-age story slash a horror movie. But I gotta say that the horror element of Little Monsters is the least significant part of the story. More on that later. Talking about the billing of the actors, I came into Little Monsters expecting to watch a Lupita Nyongo movie. However, it actually stars Alexander England as Dave. Lupita is a secondary character. She plays Miss Caroline, and Josh Gad is an interesting comedic side character. The plot goes like this. Dave is a down on his luck and living with his sister slacker kind of F up. She asks him to quote unquote step up, and he volunteers to take care of his nephew, her son, which aligns with his ulterior motives to hook up with Miss Caroline, who is his nephew's school teacher. Miss Caroline and her school kids have a scheduled field trip to a campsite, but the chaperone pulls out at the last minute. So Dave volunteers to be a stand-in so that he can spend time with Miss Caroline and try to get with her. They go on the school trip, and a zombie outbreak happens in a nearby military facility, and they get trapped at the campsite surrounded by the living dead. It's a very simple premise, and it's a very simple movie. We could talk about the performances. Lupita Nyongo is the first person I'm going to talk about. She's an absolute star. I absolutely love Lupita, and I actually think that she doesn't get a fair shake, and she doesn't get as many, meaty, big leading lady roles as she should. She's drop dead gorgeous. She has, Academy Award wins and nominations to her name. So we know that this is someone who's very competent, and it's kind of, strange, and it's a bit of an injustice to see her in a movie like this being a supporting character. Now, when you watch the movie and you watch how she moves between dramatic to comedic to horror to romance to even quirky and even action, I mean, it just shows you her craft, how talented she is. And of all the actors in the film, she did the best job, and she showed the greatest range. Dave, played by Alexander England, is this sort of roguish, devil-may-care type, but with a heart of gold underneath his frat boy dude bro exterior. Think of him as a Ryan Reynolds, Chris Pratt archetype. Josh Gad is just a straight comedic character. He appears at first to be this kid-loving type. He plays a kids' TV special star called Teddy McGiggle. But when all hell breaks loose, he flips into this terribly unpleasant, potty-mouthed, inappropriate jerk who actually hates kids. And it's a boon to the movie that they implemented this simple plot device, because they're able to derive endless amounts of hilarious and great comedy from this simple plot device. Now, I want to talk about how music and color are a character in this film. This is quite a simple film, but I was delighted to see that the director, Mr. Forsythe, was able to, layer the film with some interesting storytelling elements. So let's talk about how music is used to, further some of the themes in the film. So and we'll look at it through the three main characters. So we'll start with Dave. Dave is a field musician, and his musical instrument of choice is an electric guitar. So he goes about thrashing the guitar. He's singing with a very hoarse voice. It's heavy metal. The lyrics aren't good. It's very jarring. It's very harsh, and that reflects his state of not being grown. It reflects his state of not yet being mature and not yet being formed. Now we go over to Lupita Nyong'o's character, Miss Caroline, and she's very well put together. She's very prim and proper. She's very brave. She's very responsible. She's making a great impact in the lives of kids. She has a good job. She uses a ukulele, and there's a sweetness to the way she sings and the way she makes music. And she's just this image of the position in life, in maturity, that Dave should be striving towards. The third character is Josh Gad, and Josh Gad, who's this TV child entertainer. He uses a lot of props and a lot of microphones. He has his van. He speaks in a quirky, childish voice, to get the kids entertained. It's very complex. It's very elaborate. It's very put on. It's a whole theatrical performance, but it's a facade. It's not as naturalistic and soft and sweet as Miss Caroline, who's sincere. And even though Dave is a field musician, and his music, he's thrashing, and it's just, all over the place and, unorganized, at least there's an honesty to his music. Meanwhile, Josh Gad, as we said before, he really doesn't like kids. It's all a facade, and it's all fake. So I really appreciated how the director was able to use music to, tell us about these characters. He does something similar with colors. Now, Dave wears muted colors and a lot of grays and a lot of, drab colors, so to speak, which again reflects, his unhappiness, reflects the fact that he's unfulfilled. Meanwhile, Lupita Nyong'o's character wears bright yellow for much of the film, and it really pops against her beautiful dark skin, and she's almost like a sun, like a burst of sunlight in all the craziness and, horrible, things that are going on around them. She's always this sort of beacon in the dark. Then Josh Gad, once again, everything is a facade. Everything is theatrical. Everything is manufactured. It's overdone. He wears this Riddler-looking costume of, green with polka dots and this ridiculous large red bow tie. There's no subtlety to it. It's all manufactured. So I really think that that's something to note, and Abe Forsythe did a really good job with that. And in this film, the zombies are characters as well. It's a zombie film, but they are secondary to the story. Whilst in other zombie films, the zombies are really highlighted. The zombies in this film, they serve as background filler to tell a sweet, charming, intimate story. I have to re-emphasize that this is not a horror movie and you're not going to be scared. The zombies are very slow, so they're easy to run away from, even for kids. We have a stock zombie outbreak, origin story. The outbreak itself is very localized and easily contained. The zombies Zombies are brain dead in all these stories, but these ones are particularly stupid, daft, and dumb, and it's used to great comedic effect a lot of times, which, I have to give credit to the film for doing that. I never really felt horrified or scared, but I did feel anxious at times, and if you're prone to claustrophobia, this film does invoke a mild sense of claustrophobia. The themes that this movie is dealing with particularly are, stepping up, taking responsibility, growing into your best self, and how the least likely of persons can be heroes despite how they failed in the past or how incapable they may seem. It's very much a coming of age story, even though the protagonist is an adult. The script is quite intelligent, does a good job of weaving this theme as well as a few other secondary ones, and folding and unfolding them quite well into the story beats throughout the film. Little Monsters is a lightweight and happy-go-lucky film, but I do think it's one of the better comedies of the year. It's very quirky, and it's an easy, pleasant watch. It's shot and executed on a shoestring budget, which you can see, but it's made with great efficiency and commendable competency. So overall, I would give Little Monsters about a 7 out of 10. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it's not a bad movie at all, and it will be worth your time to watch. If you're a fan of zombie movies, if you're a fan of rom-coms, if you're looking for something lighthearted and easy to watch that will give you a few giggles and give you some heartfelt humor and a sweet story. So, thank you very much for listening to this review. My name is Lupe. You can find me on Twitter at LiveLoveLupe. And, talk to me about Little Monsters and talk to me about any movies. If you like this review, please remember to like and subscribe to the podcast. Everything that you do helps and we'll greatly appreciate it. And remember to stay exiled.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.